The information provided on the Forever Young Show by its host or sponsors is for educational and personal alternatives. Statements have not been established by the Food and Drug Administration. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Forever Young radio show. So grateful that you can join America's natural doctor, Mark Stengler, and myself, Kelly Capitola, today. As we talked about in the first segment, we have a great show planned for you today. We're going to be covering the topic of DHEA. We've invited on a very special friend, a returning guest, a great friend of the show for many, many years, and that is Hugh Woodward. He's the president of Health to Go, the makers of Twist 25 DHEA cream. He is a subject matter expert on DHEA. Hugh, welcome back to the Forever Young radio show. Great to have you with us, and always fun to catch up.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Dr. Stengler. It's always great to be with you, Kelly, on the Forever Young radio show.
Hey, Hugh, you know, in my clinic, I see a lot of patients and test them for hormonal imbalances, and obviously always screen for DHEA, such a critical hormone. And a lot of patients come up lower deficient. And a lot of patients are surprised to find that out, and they don't even understand really what DHEA is. Could you please give listeners some information on DHEA and what it stands for and what it basically does?
It's interesting. A lot of folks don't ever even really hear about DHEA. It's an acronym for dehydroepiandrosterone, which is a naturally occurring prohormone. Men and women alike make it. It's the same molecule in men as women. It's a base building block for other smaller, more specific carbon chain molecules. It's a 19 carbon chain molecule itself, but depending on which carbon chain is removed from it by the gonads, ovaries in women, testicles in men, it's also processed in the adrenal glands, the brain, in different organs of the body. And depending on which carbon chain is removed, you get either the androgens, the estrogens, estrogenic hormones, or about 50 different hormones. Use it as a precursor. And it is a hormone that, hormones drive our energy, our mood, our muscle tone, our fat, quality of sleep, mental sharpness, our immune system function. Just so many different things that hormones are responsible for in our bodies. So with DHEA, you're talking about a basic precursor hormone. We make more and more of it from birth through our adolescence and puberty years, and we make the most DHEA between the years of about 18 to 25 years old, when we're in our reproductive prime as humans, if you will. And then we begin to produce about 2% less per year. So there's this decrease that occurs, and since it's a foundation for all kinds of other hormones in the body, by about age 35, when we're making 20% less than we used to, we really start to notice this decline, this decrease.
Right. And I will say for the rest of the show, I will just call it DHEA, and you guys can call it the very long name that I can't pronounce if you'd like to, right? What is it again, Hugh?
Dehydroepiandrosterone. Yeah, long word, but DHEA will do. It's a really important thing.
Again, hormones play a major role in overall health, from birth all the way to our golden years. And that's one thing, as we're getting older and we're aging, we start paying a lot more attention to our hormones than maybe we did in our late 20s, early 30s, and so on. So, Hugh, let's talk a little bit about, so people can really get the picture on DHEA, what specifically it's responsible for. There are certain jobs that we look at DHEA and rely on every day that it could potentially stop doing at that decrease of 2% per year.
DHEA is the only thing in the body that counterbalances cortisol. Cortisol is another adrenal hormone that we release. It's an inflammatory response, a protective measure, and it's meant to be a short-term sort of barrier or saver of tissues in the body. But on a chronic level, when we're under a large amount of stress like we are these days, we tend to produce too much cortisol and not enough DHEA. But DHEA, in a general sense, DHEA helps us sleep better at night. Studies have shown that when you have better DHEA level, your REM sleep is deeper. Energy. When people say they get in their 30s, early 40s, and they say, God, I just feel wiped out all the time. I just feel blah. I just don't have any energy anymore. My vitality's gone. No zest. That's hormone driven. A lot of folks about the same time start to lose their physical fitness. Muscle tone is not as firm as it once was, right? The used to be's.
Yeah.
Gets a little easier to gain
right?
weight. Yeah, the I used to. Exactly. But gain weight a little bit easier, harder to get rid of it when you want to lose weight. Lots of people notice that they just don't have the mental sharpness, the cognitive function that they once did, and kind of lose interest in sex, and sex drive declines. A lot of people will get the colds and flus more often. And so there's a lot of things that are, I guess, caused by hormonal decline, the symptoms that we see, but a great driver, a great foundation underneath all of this is DHEA.
Yeah, that's right, Hugh. Hugh, I'm going to quote something from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, so very conventional and mainstream, and I want to get your comment on it because it goes to what we're talking about here. Basically, it's a study they did back all the way in the year 2000 with 280 healthy volunteers. They were women and men ages 60 to 79, and they were given DHEA or placebo for a year. And what the authors found when they analyzed all the data of the study, there was no potentially harmful accumulation of DHEA. They found that it had a normalizing effect on some effects of aging, they said, quotations. They found it improved bone density in women over the age of 70, improved libido, healthier skin. They found it helped with the immune system from breaking down. It helped with guarding against the decline in muscle mass. It helped with sleep. It diminished feelings of well-being and the impaired ability to cope. And it seemed to have benefits for conditions that range from heart disease to diabetes to bone health. So, again, as you said, this prohormone has its own direct effects, but it needed to make all these other hormones. So I know it's quite a bit, but when you get these major, conventional organizations demonstrating the benefit of DHEA, it's quite helpful getting that information out to the people.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah, you're so right. A lot of people, DHEA is nothing new. It's been around since the 1930s. Dr. Butenandt first identified it in 1933, I believe. But it was first taken, and all these great expectations were there. And people were taking it as an oral supplement, and a lot of the studies were done using oral supplements, and the results were sometimes sometimes not as significant as they might have been, and they couldn't quite get a feel for, well, why is it sometimes showing up to be really effective and some other times not? And so I think one thing that's important is for us to, what we've realized is that using it as a cream that's absorbed in the dermis, called Twist 25, is the name of the cream, is really advantageous. It has a lot of these effects that you've mentioned, and we've noticed that people, when they use it as a cream, experience those even more dramatically. Just the fact that they feel better, and that is because free DHEA is a base for our sex hormones. And the androgens, like testosterone for men, estrogens, estradiol, estrone, estriol, all those estrogenic hormones for women use DHEA as a precursor, and free DHEA metabolized in the dermis really yields great results, and people feel it. So what we developed is a pharmaceutical-grade, bioidentical DHEA that you apply on your skin, on thin, hairless skin, and we recommend you put it on once in the morning, once in the evening, because it wears off after about 3. It's mostly absorbed in 3 hours, but still it trails off what they call the half-life, about 10 hours. And so if you put it on once in the morning and once in the evening, you give your body just something, a very small amount of a very beneficial thing with no dangerous side effects. It's got no harmful or dangerous side effects. It's the most abundant, naturally occurring prohormone in the body. So it's not a foreign substance. It's not considered a drug, and it's not addictive or habit-forming in any way.
So we're going to run out to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more on some research, some studies, what consumers are saying. You talk to a lot of the people themselves when they call in asking questions, Hugh, so it's always fun to hear their experience or common questions if those questions are lining up with a lot of the ones you get on a regular basis. If you're seeing a consensus of people saying, I'm tired, I don't feel the same, I have brain fog. So when we come back from the break, we're going to cover more on that. In the meantime, go and check out this website, twist25.com. That's twist25.com. We'll be right back after the break.
Did you know by age 35, most people start to notice the effects of declining hormone levels? Symptoms include lack of energy, less focus, decreased sex drive, weight gain, and poor quality sleep. DHEA is a base building block for hormones that keeps us feeling healthy and alive. DHEA helps men and women 35 and up to maintain youthful vigor, enhance mood and focus, and sleep better at night. Twist 25 DHEA cream puts exactly what the body makes naturally, bioidentical DHEA, on the skin where DHEA occurs naturally and can be processed. And when you feel your best, you look your best. It's the little things we do each day that make the big things happen. Visit twist25.com to learn more and order online, or call 888-489-4782. That's 888-489-4782. Look your best, feel your best with Twist 25 DHEA cream. That's twist25.com.
How do you know what diet, supplements, or even medications are right for you? With so many health issues happening within our society, things can often get confusing, leaving us in a place of feeling unsure on what direction to take when it comes to our health. Each week, America's natural doctor, Mark Stengler, and his special guests will provide you with the proper knowledge so you can get the answers to the common health questions that have become puzzling and have held you back from achieving optimal health. America's natural doctor, Mark Stengler, has a true passion for combining the best of conventional and natural medicine to achieve optimized health and wellness for his patients and listeners. Dr. Mark Stengler has been in private practice for over 20 years, and thousands of patients have been helped by his commitment to providing excellence in natural health care. To learn more, please visit americasnaturaldoctor.com. That's americasnaturaldoctor.com.
Welcome back, listeners. Again, thank you so much for joining us every single week here on the Forever Young radio show. Dr. Stengler and I greatly appreciate it. Before the break, we were talking to our special guest today, Hugh Woodward of Twist 25 DHEA cream, and he was giving us the rundown on different aspects when it comes to DHEA. We alluded to some of those great benefits of that research in 2000 that you talked about. But I think with so much going on in our world right now, with it being cold and flu season, these different viruses, I think a good place to start is asking about DHEA and the immune response.
The natural killer cells they've shown in studies, which are those sort of Pac-Man-like things you see in the videos. I don't know if you've ever watched Nova or some of the science shows where they show the immune system destroying foreign invaders in our system. And natural killer cells, they've shown in studies that when your DHEA level is higher, the activity of and the number of natural killer cells in the system is greater. And having more natural killer cells, particularly in this terrible cold and flu season we're having this year, and with that scare of the coronavirus being out there, the body is just better prepared for immune response when your DHEA level is higher. You know, for many years they were afraid that DHEA might increase risks of hormone-sensitive cancers. What they've actually found now is that in doing the research, when people's DHEA level is higher, their defensive mechanism is stronger.
Right. So with DHEA, there's a couple things happening. Like you said, it directly has an effect on the immune system. These cells which help to fight against viruses and bacteria and fungi. And then because it helps the body combat stress better by being the major stress hormone in the body, so it makes your body more resistant to stress. And as you mentioned earlier, by keeping cortisol from getting too high, we know that high cortisol levels suppress the immune system. And like you said, most people are under very high amounts of stress. They have high cortisol, and that's suppressing their immune system. And so DHEA helps to keep that in control. It helps to, I call it its twin. It helps to balance it out, so to speak.
Yeah, my father, who was a bioidentical hormone replacement specialist, an OB-GYN, board-certified OB-GYN in Dallas, determined, in his opinion, that a DHEA to cortisol ratio of about 10 to 1 was ideal, that people really felt great and were at their fittest when their DHEA to cortisol ratio was 10 to 1. Now, I've read many articles about adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion, they call it. There's a great article by Dr. Christiane Northrup that talks about this. It's interesting. We make more and more cortisol the older we get, but we make less and less DHEA after the age of about 25. So there comes this crossroads at about age 50 where people make too much cortisol and not enough DHEA. And a stressful lifestyle, like you say, can add to that. So we're all of a sudden our system's making too much cortisol and not enough DHEA. So DHEA is the counterbalance to cortisol. And it's just a real big driver of so many things. People get in adrenal exhaustion, they feel like, that they're wiped out. They're kind of blah. They feel bloated. They don't feel well. They're not sharp of mind, and they just don't feel good in general. So getting your DHEA level up, anybody that's 35 or older really should consider using Twist 25 cream every day as just a general health thing for many, many reasons.
DHEA diminishes in the body for both men and women. So often we'll look at a particular hormone like estrogen or testosterone and compartmentalize that in our mind. Oh, that's for men, this is for women, and not the case. But this can really be felt by both. So imagine if you're a married couple, you're aging, the diminishing of DHEA is happening, and you both are kind of on that teeter-totter where you're not sleeping well at night, you're tossing or turning, or you're disturbing your other partner, or you don't have the energy. It seems like it could potentially cause a lot of personal trouble if, those issues are happening. But what I like to talk about, Hugh, and I'd love you to share with Dr. Stengler and the listeners, is you didn't just start taking DHEA because you read a commercial about it. I mean, you have diabetes. Your dad, told you about it before it even hit the market. Give the listeners a little bit on that backstory because I find it fascinating. You really started this company out of your own need and wanted to help people.
My father, as I told you, was a board-certified physician in Dallas and an OB-GYN, and he did hormone replacement therapy, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy for women primarily. He told me one time I went up to visit him, and he was leading edge doc and had all kinds of new ideas all the time, and was like one of the first guys doing laparoscopic surgery in Dallas, one of the first guys doing rollerball laser ablation, lots of different things. That he was a leader and an innovator. And I went up and I was sitting out on the back porch with Dad, and he says, Hugh, I've got this new cream, and my patients just love it. And I said, wow, really cool. What is it? And he says, well, it's this cream you rub on thin, hairless skin. It's a DHEA cream. And I said, wow, that's really neat. He said, yeah, a lot of my menopausal women are the ladies that come in with symptoms of menopause. We start them on this, and they use this for about a month, and then we test their hormones to see kind of where they're at with the DHEA cream first. I said, well, that's really interesting. And he said, yeah, it's you should try it. So I used it for about a month, and I called and talked to Dad, and he says, so how are you feeling? And I said, I feel great. What is in this cream? And that was where I did this aha, because, I all of a sudden I felt well again. I had had this high-stress job working in surgical services at the hospital, and I was under a lot of stress all day, every day. And I would come home from work just exhausted. And I had 2 children, and I wanted to be out, able to throw the football and run around in the yard with my kids. I just felt like I was run over by a train when I'd get home from work. But using this cream daily, I started sleeping well at night. My energy and focus and cognitive skills came back. So I was feeling sharp. I was getting more done at work. I was feeling lean and trim and fit. And so all these things from using this daily skin cream, I said, well, Dad, why isn't this available? Why can't you get this at the store? And he said, well, I think it could be available without a prescription. I don't know. And I said, well, I've got to do something about this. Let's get this out to the people. So that's when I started Health to Go, and that was when I changed my focus, my mission in life, to getting the best DHEA cream out to the public that was possible. So that's
right.
The story behind it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Hugh, I can see why you felt better. There was a study done back in 2010. International Journal of Cardiology, and they found that 77% of men with type 2 diabetes had low DHEA levels. And of course, we know it helps with insulin resistance and getting that sugar into your cells to burn for energy. So if someone has diabetes out there, which is tens of millions of Americans, most likely your DHEA level is low.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And then also the elderly population, because as we were saying, your levels decline by about 2% per year. It's a whole lot better to maintain your hormones early on than it is to let them fall out completely, start feeling terrible, and then go into the doctor when everything's falling apart. You're a whole lot better off starting using Twist 25 cream, maintain your hormones, produce your own hormones. Then, if need be, supplement, the specific ones, be it estradiol or progesterone in women. That's very common. They still need a little bit of supplementation after age 50 of those. For men, first use DHEA, then testosterone. But do it in that order and keep your hormones healthy, and you'll do yourself a huge amount of good.
It really is. And we're going to run out to a break, but before we do that, we always partner with you. You're a great partner in health to give our listeners a special discount if they want to try the Twist 25 DHEA cream. All they have to do, they can go online. That's twist25.com. Again, twist25.com is the website. Wonderful resource. You can go there, watch YouTube videos, read the blog, or you can give them a call if you want to talk to somebody. And that number is 888-489-4782. Again, that's 888-489-4782. Now at checkout, whether calling or visiting the website, simply mention the code FOREVER, all lowercase. FOREVER is your coupon code. And you'll get 15% off any Twist 25 DHEA cream order that you put in place. Now, if you want to buy a 3-pack, you'll also get 15% off and $15 off your order. And then also, if you were to buy a box of 12, $75 off and 15% off your order when using the code FOREVER. Again, that's at twist25.com or by calling 888-489-4782 and using the code FOREVER. We'll be right back after the break. Stick around with us. More on your health and DHEA.
Regular exercise and staying healthy has repeatedly been proven to be the most important way to stay healthy. But let's face it, being an adult can be demanding and stressful. After age 35, it gets harder for people to muster up the motivation to keep the daily exercise going. Work, kids, combined with diminishing hormone levels, can leave us with low energy, lack of sleep, and a poor overall outlook. After age 30, DHEA levels start to decline, which is when many adults start to gain weight, lack energy, libido, and drive. Twist 25 DHEA cream puts exactly what the body makes naturally, bioidentical DHEA, in the skin, where the body processes it. As a base building block for hormones, DHEA gives the body the foundation it uses to make hormones, especially the good ones like androgens and estrogens, the feel-good hormones. So for a little advantage, use Twist 25 DHEA cream. Make your own hormones. 1-888-489-4782. That's 888-489-4782. Or visit twist25.com. 888-489-4782.
Forever Young is brought to you by Twist 25 DHEA Cream. Use the code FOREVER, all lowercase, to save 15% off. Call 1-888-489-4782 or online at twist25.com.
Welcome back, listeners. Again, so grateful you can join us on the program today to discuss hormones because they are such an important role in every part of what we do in life. Dr. Stengler, we've covered a lot today. What do you think?
Oh, it's been really good. I was going to tell Hugh, after medical school, as with most people, I was feeling pretty tired. And I tested my DHEA levels, and it was rock bottom. And so I started on DHEA supplementation. In a matter of about 3 to 5 days, I had a tremendous boost. Energy, clarity of mind. I stayed on it, and I know there's a lot of listeners out there who are just burnt out from the effects of chronic stress, work. Maybe they've overtrained in sports and that type of stuff. So I'm sure that's the type of feedback you get from the people that call into your company there.
Oh, absolutely. And what you're describing is exactly the same experience I had with it. I was about, 42 at the time, but we get calls from people, men and women alike, who some of the greatest calls I'll get are where people call and they go, "Oh my, this cream is so amazing. I've got my energy drive back. I've got my focus back, and my, I just feel great again. And you've changed my life." I mean, things like that, or you've saved our marriage. So it is really remarkable, and that is what makes me go. It just makes me so happy to get a really high quality product out to people. And Kelly, as you were saying, it is the highest quality that we can make. It's a pharmaceutical-grade, bioidentical DHEA. It's got no parabens, no lecithin, no petroleum-based products in it. It is all plant-sourced ingredients, bioidentical DHEA, and a pharmaceutical-grade coconut oil-based cream, which allows it to be absorbed readily. And then it's also got a little bit of vitamin E and coenzyme Q10 in it. So it's really, really good for your skin. DHEA is also known to be a base for sebum, which is skin oil. And they have recently found in some of the studies that DHEA helps with collagen formation, which is kind of the fabric of the skin. And so that's really new and wonderful research that's available. You can find that online, and we have links to the references in our blogs on the website at twist25.com. But just a really high quality product, and that's our mission at Health to Go, is to make the best possible DHEA cream that can be made.
Right, and there's no scent. So that's one of the things when I talk to some of the male listeners, they're like, "Well, I want to try the cream, but am I going to smell like flowers?" And I say, "No, absolutely not. Like, there's no scent, there's no odor." And one of the things that I liked about it is it's not greasy. It dissolves very quickly. You get out of the shower, you rub it on your, wrists and your forearms, and then whatever's left on the side of your stomach. Really, really easy to use. As we're talking about things on this show, they only can help you in your life if you use them. If you get it and use it once and think that it's this miracle, it's not. It's just putting in the body what the body is lacking.
Yeah, and Kelly, you bring up a really good point. I tell people to use it after a warm shower or a warm bath when their skin is clean and of any dirt or oils, and your pores are open, your blood flow's good. So using it after you get out of the shower and you're dried off is a real good idea. So when people are getting ready for work in the morning or getting ready for bed at night, if you put it right there next to your toothbrush and toothpaste, I always, when I brush my teeth, that's when I put on my Twist 25 cream. And it kind of reminds you to use it when you're first getting started using it. Oh, yeah, I need to put on my Twist 25 cream. And being consistent with it is really important. So, use it every day, morning and evening, for at least 3 weeks, and then kind of ask yourself, look in the mirror and just do this. What am I noticing here? What's changing? And with Twist 25 cream, people actually go, wow, I get it. this is amazing. I feel great. My skin's soft. Women say that their hair grows faster, their nails grow faster. And that's other great news, is that DHEA has a protective effect against both UV and chemical carcinogens for your skin. So people take a little dab and put it on your forehead and cheeks and the back of your neck, your chest. Really good for your skin and protects your skin from UV and chemical carcinogens. So just another little side note there.
Yeah, that's great. Hugh, how about bone health? I certainly use DHA. A lot of my senior patients who are having bone loss, osteopenia, osteoporosis, there is good research showing a connection to helping with bone formation.
Yeah, there's a great article about bone health in elderly women that was published in May of 2009. It was in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Some researchers at Washington University in St. Louis did a study with elderly women, and they found that along with calcium and vitamin D levels being normal and normalized, which is important for all our listeners, keep your vitamin D levels at a healthy level and your calcium levels at a healthy level, and you'll do yourself a lot of good. But DHEA was found to be a real driver of bone density. Keeping your DHEA level up helps with not just cartilage, as we were talking about, but bone and bone density. And there's also research in elderly men as well that they found that DHEA was beneficial. And so what we've started to see is that DHEA, like if you've got arthritic joints, sore knees, sore knuckles in your hands, what a lot of people do is they'll use Twist 25 DHEA cream and rub it in like on the backs of their knees and that soft skin on the back of their knees. So using it on a regular basis on those thin, hairless skin areas has a really good effect and no negative or dangerous side effects.
You're the CEO of the company and you're the president, right? And most companies that are like that, if you were to call in and have a question, you generally wouldn't be talking to that particular person. But consumers talk to you. You like to answer the phones. You like to talk to the listeners of Forever Young and the listeners of all the other shows and places that you go and educate.
There are some real common questions. One is how to use it, and that's you want to squirt it on thin, hairless skin. So rather than squirting it on the palm of your hand and rubbing it in with your hand, I always tell callers, put it on that soft skin between your wrist and your elbow, and then each squirt, one full pump press from the pump contains 25 milligrams of DHEA. So put it on that thin, hairless skin there, and then rub your arm on your side, and then you're absorbing it through both of those thin-skinned areas. So your arm is processing it as well as your stomach skin or skin on your side, and that's a really good way to apply it. So that's one question I hear a lot. Another is people will ask me, well, does this affect my thyroid at all? And it is separate from the thyroid. We have seen that if you have a thyroid deficiency, you still need to treat that and deal with that separately. It is not a base precursor to your thyroid, and it is not going to raise or lower that as far as we can tell at all. Because it's the most abundant, naturally occurring prohormone in the body, you're putting something back that is there anyway. It's what your body makes, and you're putting it where it occurs naturally anyway, on the dermis, in the dermis, and that's why it works so well. It's what the body makes, where the body uses it, and that's why it just feels right. When you get your levels back up, you just go, oh wow, this is great. I get it,
For sure. And I think that the greatest thing people can do is go and educate themselves. I know that you have a beautiful new website at twist25.com. Again, that's twist25.com. But again, if people like what they've heard today, you've always done us such a favor partnering on the show, Hugh, and we appreciate that. So our listeners can try your wonderful Twist 25 DHEA cream and get a little bit of a discount. So all you got to do, listeners, is go to twist25.com. Use the code FOREVER, all lowercase, at time of checkout, or call 888-489-4782. Again, that's 888-489-4782. 4782. You get 15% off Twist 25 DHEA cream right away. And remember, when you buy a 3-pack and an additional $15 off, or a box of 12 is $75 off. Thank you so much for the information you shared with us today. We love that you continue to come on the program and educate us and our listeners on the value of DHEA, and look forward to talking to you in the future.
Always glad to be here. And if listeners, if you want to call and ask for Hugh, that's my name, 888-4, and then just spell out Twist 25 on your phone, and you'll get us. Excellent,
Hugh. Thank you so much. And listeners, you can learn more about all of this information we shared today by going to the radio section of americasnaturaldoctor.com. Have a happy and healthy week, and we will catch you next time.